you encouraged by anybody to relocate constituencies?
No, actually that was my decision. I was made aware of a new contestant coming in, given some of his resume, background, history, and talked it over with numerous people, my supporters mainly. We took probably a couple weeks to just debate different options, talk it through. And it's tough. It's tough when you look at someone's resume and realize that their resume at one point in time in one particular skill set is better than yours. So after a lot of consideration, realizing the qualities that this gentleman has in terms of his job experience and his training, in terms of his education, 2 doctorates in finance and law, pretty obvious that that skill set would be a great asset to any government. So then, rather than sitting in an either-or scenario, which is a win-lose or a lose-lose, because I have a tremendous amount of support in Lethbridge-East. You know, a lot of people really felt a connection with the membership, that part of the city. Very strong in terms of support for me. So that's good for me and bad for a new contestant. So changing that paradigm into a win-win, we looked at different options. And that's sort of where we came down to, what did I really want to do? And that's what we end up making that decision based on. It was my decision to say, I really want to serve people. I really do. And I really think that the party needs good contestants that end up as good candidates for the provincial election.
Is this for you more of an issue of, I don't want to compete with this person, or is it more of an issue of, I don't want it to be a situation where one of us or the other has to get in? Like, do you understand the difference?
I do, yeah, and it's definitely the second, right? There would be a choice. There can only be one person per constituency, and I want the UCP party to have the strongest list of candidates on the ballot for the next election. So how do I work cooperatively to get that end? And yeah, that was a decision to go in that direction.
Talk about, and this is kind of for my information as well, because I obviously haven't looked into this riding. Talk about Livingstone-Macleod. Is there, are there other people that you're competing with at this point? Why did you choose this riding? Just kind of go over those.
Sure. Yeah, it's a very large constituency. Goes right from the Crow's Nest Pass, swoops down, picks up Waterton, Lumbrick, all the way through that, all the way to Fort Macleod, and then it heads north and goes all the way up through Claresholm and Granham and Nanton and up to High River, Blackie, and all that whole area. So it's a very large footprint, not the largest in the province, but one of them. And therefore it represents quite a diverse group of people. The people in Crow's Nest Pass would have different concerns and areas of debate than people in High River, or Claresholm, Fort Macleod are different from each other even though they're close. The Piikani Nation in Brockett is there as well, so they have a really diverse background, which I think it provides opportunity to all contestants, because there's different people groups, different numbers, different areas that you can get to know them. So that's an opportunity. There are 2 or 3 contestants. I'm not totally sure where everybody's at in their process of applying. I believe the registered number is 2, but I do believe 3 have expressed interest. They represent their areas very well, so they'll be hard to beat. From their upstanding citizens, they haven't been rejected by the party at this point, and they've got a head start. Having said that, again, it is a large area. There's a lot of different people, and that whole race is about who you can connect with, who you can have your message resound with, who you represent. And my platform has always been respect, representation, and results, because I want to get to know people. I want to represent them, listen to them, work hard for them, and take that voice to Edmonton. That's what I want to do.
And that kind of brings me to, well, actually, I won't focus so much on Livingstone-Macleod. I mean, obviously, you know, it's kind of the next one over.
Yep.
But I read your email.
Yep.
And it sounds like it was a pretty, you know, it took you a while to kind of figure out what the best option was. So
Yeah.
in choosing yes, what were the biggest factors there? But also, as you considered no, what were the biggest factors there?
No, as in not going to Lethbridge West kind of thing, or?
Sorry, no as in not leaving Lethbridge-East.
Sure. No as in not leaving Lethbridge-East. At some point puts somebody, probably the party, at a tough place. Someone's got to make some decisions, right? Someone's going to say, who will represent the party the best? What skills do we need going forward? And again, that's approaching it as a win-lose opportunity. At some point, somebody has to take a lead. Somebody has to set a direction. There can be lots of questions asked of different people. There can be lots of implications. There can be lots of things. And then who are we giving ammo to? Are we going to fight one another and give ammo to the opposition parties that we want to hopefully replace in the upcoming election? Or do we want to work cooperatively, listen to the people, provide people with good choices, and approach it from a win-win perspective? And that's where I landed up talking with my wife, talking with my close supporters, saying, how do we do this? How do we move forward in a win-win where the experience, the representation, the relationships can represent the Conservative Party moving forward in a united front so that it works with everybody?
Now this is a bit of a funny question because obviously the name of this candidate hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
It does sound like just like you said, you just want to avoid inter-party conflict.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you're endorsing this candidate?
It means I will be. Yeah, I will be. I haven't met him personally. I know a lot about him. I believe that on paper, he looks like an excellent contestant, and I hope to find when I meet him in person that he will be that person. And as for his name and releasing that information, that's not my information to release. I do understand there's some previous commitments on his behalf that restricts him from doing that at this point. So when the party or himself makes that known, and I've had a chance to meet him, I anticipate being able to fully endorse him and work with him in terms of the relationship building that I've already undertaken, and hopefully transfer that over.
You live in Lethbridge-East?
Actually, I live just outside the Lethbridge-East boundary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To the east.
Of Lethbridge.
Yeah.
Or the east, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you going to be moving houses?
Not at this point. It is a huge advantage to live within the constituency where you run. I don't live in Lethbridge-East. I live in the county of Lethbridge, but I work, my wife works, our children attend school predominantly in Lethbridge-East. So going to Livingstone-Macleod, that is probably one of the largest setbacks, is not living in that constituency. If I was to be successful in winning the nomination, I would definitely move in that direction, because there are things that you pick up from living in the region. Having said that, the current MLA doesn't live in that constituency either. And as important as that is, it is not the only factor. I actually believe the number one factor is spending the time doing the work and listening to the people. Like I said before, where would you live in that large constituency? The people who live in High River, are they as in tune to Crow's Nest Pass as someone living in Lethbridge or not? Like, how do you measure that? And the people living in Fort Macleod, are they on the same page with people living in Nanton or whatever? So it's helpful, but I actually think being able to do the work, being able to drive the length and breadth of that area, and having the focus mindset to listen to the constituencies, people themselves, is the most important factor. So, yeah.
And sorry, which constituency do you actually live in?
I believe it is now Tabor-Warner.
Oh, okay. So that's Hunter's.
Grant Hunter, yeah.
Right. Okay. So that my question would have been, why not just run there? That question.
It's already done. Yeah.
Do you at this point, because obviously campaigning in this riding is going to be a lot different than campaigning in Lethbridge-East because of the vast area, and maybe even because of the, like you said, the diversity. So do you have a bit of a comprehensive plan at this point as to how you're going to campaign that riding?
Yeah, actually I do. As of next Monday, I'll be taking a leave of absence from my work. They have graciously allowed me to do so that I can have the time that I need to be able to travel it. Whereas in Lethbridge-East, you can, after work, go out and door knock, do whatever you can. Now that we're approaching winter, that's not an option. By the time I get somewhere, it's already dark. So, yeah, beginning next week, I will be spending most of every day that I can traveling and getting out there to those regions. I think the more rural you are, as opposed to urban, the more looking somebody in the eye, shaking their hand and talking to them straight matters. Maybe urbanites are more used to emails and Facebook and any kind of social media, but whether it's a farmer, whether it's someone who works in a mine, whether it's someone who works in a local store, or whatever the case may be, it matters. It matters, doesn't matter where you are, it matters to talk to people personally, and I'm committed to do that over the next couple of months, to spend as much time as I possibly can getting to meet people personally in their homes, their place of work, wherever I can find time to do that.
I have to assume, anybody who might have been following, I guess, your campaign closely, but not from the side of a supporter, the perspective of a supporter. This move of yours will likely bring about sort of accusations like, well, he's just a constituency hopper. He goes wherever it'll get him elected, or he'll just do whatever it takes to get into legislature. Right. So if those accusations, are out there or do come about, how do you think you'll respond to that?
I think I'll respond honestly that this isn't actually benefiting me, right? I'm moving to a constituency where I'm going from potentially being the lead runner or someone close to the front to someone being behind. I'm the last one to enter. I'm the least well known. So I'm not doing it for my advantage. I do hope I win. I think I've got a good shot at winning, but it's definitely not from the viewpoint of being advantageous to do that. I think, again, my original statement is for the better of the party. Just because I'm stepping out doesn't guarantee that this new contestant is going to win the area. He's got a lot of work to do, and I can support him or not, or however that works. I will support him. But nothing's a guarantee anywhere. So people could level that accusation. I don't have a long track record. I am not doing it out of a selfish point of view. In fact, if I was selfish, I'd stay and make someone else move. I really feel like I'm doing it as a team player, and for the good not only of the UCP, but for the good of the people that live in both constituencies. Having a good contestant in Lethbridge-East is good for them, and having additional people to choose from in Livingstone-Macleod is good for those people. At the very worst, I will help raise awareness of the whole nomination process, will help raise awareness and familiarity with the UCP and its policies, and hopefully one of these constituencies is successful for the UCP and ends up with good people in the House so that it has the most expertise, the most experience, and the strongest contestants in there to do what government's meant to do, represent the people. So I don't think that would be a very strong argument to make.
Now, you've given me everything I need. Is there anything that you wanted to speak to that I didn't question you?
I don't think so. Well, actually there is. A lot of people have asked why not go to Lethbridge West. That would be the most natural, the next closest. And there's a contestant on that side that I have supported in this race so far. And going over there, I would be conflicting our supporters on who to choose, and it would really cut across the grain in what I believe in terms of loyalty and friendship and those kind of considerations. So at the very very best, I could potentially take him out at the knees. At the very worst, we could split the vote and neither one of us proceed ahead. And in fact, I feel like it could dramatically muddy the waters because they have 3 or 4 good contestants running in the West already. So that, again, it just didn't seem like it was a good fit in terms of it wasn't helpful. If somebody was willing to bow out, which is not my question to answer, then that might have changed things, but that wasn't the case. So again, all I can do is decide what I need to do for me and what I think is the best in terms of representing the people that I want to represent and working cooperatively with the party so we get the best result at the next election.
Which brings me to one more question.
Sure.
You know, maybe we'll get you like a glass of water. Obviously this means that your perspective was not, I'm running in Lethbridge-East and nowhere else. That was not the way that you approached this.
Yeah.
So is there any likelihood that, you know, circumstances would align maybe similarly in Livingstone-Macleod that would make you jump to another constituency, or are you throwing your hat in here?
I'm throwing my hat in here and that's it. It's too late in the game. There's not very many constituencies open. There's not, like as you alluded to, I live in Tabor-Warner. Would love to run in Tabor-Warner. Grant Hunter is doing a phenomenal job there, and he was acclaimed. That wasn't an option. There are really only 3 south of Calgary, 3 constituencies left open for that area. It's Lethbridge-East, Lethbridge-West, and Livingstone-Macleod. So no, I won't be pursuing anything else. There's no time left for that. I want to represent people, and I want to represent the democratic process, which is why I'm still seeking to run. But if it doesn't work out this time, then we'll see what happens 4 years from now.